Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us today at the Taste of Spring here at the Parent Trust for Washington Children and Family. My name is John Wittgenstein, and I'm lucky enough to be the board president here at Parent Trust. And we're so glad that we could see you all today and join us in this fantastic celebration of spring, of Parent Trust, and what we do here. We wish we could see you all here in person, and that's coming soon. So hopefully the next time we do this thing, we're all hugging and we're enjoying this beautiful spring weather we're having right now, outside with a glass of wine in hand and not virtually. But until then, we're really excited to share what's going on with Parent Trust, what's going on with our partner wineries today, and just kind of what's going on in general. And with that, I'd love to introduce you to my co-host, Blythe Keller, also a board member here at Parent Trust, and our current treasurer.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Before we begin, I want to extend a special thank you to our sponsors, Columbia Bank, K2 Vision, True Blue Strategies, and the Rookstool Labachi Wright family. And also special thank you to our partner wineries, Three of Cups, Finn Hill, and Callan Cellars. Parent Trust is a child abuse prevention organization, and our goal is a world where every family is safe and strong, and every parent has all the resources they need. And in case you weren't aware, April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, and supporting child abuse prevention is an incredible way to take action to change the world. You guys have really great timing because you're right here today to do that.
So as we said, we're here today to celebrate your support and the support for this foundation and welcome in this beautiful spring we're having. We're going to be hearing from our organization, but we're also going to be hearing from our partner wineries, Three of Cups, Finn Hill, and Callan Cellars, about some really interesting small production wines they've produced, some interesting pairings you could do with these wines, and enjoy some live music and just have a nice little evening together. But before all that, we want to talk about why we've come together, and that's to support Parent Trust, and to support the difference Parent Trust is making in the lives of the 90,000 babies that are born every year in Washington State, their families, and the communities those families exist in.
Families are under so much extra stress during this pandemic. They need Parent Trust more than ever. New and expectant parents are so much more vulnerable to anxiety and depression right now. And so many of those families have felt isolated and cut off from community.
Babies can't wait. Families can't wait. And now is the time for all of us to come together and make a difference. It matters for the present, and it absolutely matters for the future. In that spirit, you can give to us through our website, which is parenttrust.org, through our Facebook page, or by texting the word donate to 855-933-3771, or you could just look at the lovely the lovely banner we have here that will be presented through the entirety of today's events. And right now, just to kind of give everybody an update, the board is matching every donation, and we are currently at 76% of our fundraising goal. So the end is in sight, and we think we can do it with your support, and it's your support that drives us. And your donations can get us to that fundraising goal.
Thanks, John. I want to tell you a little bit about our Tech Access program, which was created to bring families across the digital divide. During the pandemic, I probably don't have to tell you, having a computer and broadband, it's the key to everything. It's how we're beaming ourselves out to you right now. Parent Trust has worked with families who have never had an email address before, bringing computers and hotspots into their homes and connecting them to our services for parents and to the rest of the world. Parent Trust is constantly innovating. We're meeting families where they are today with technology, support, and all our resources. And just a special note from me, the organization did not pause even for a moment during the pandemic. They shifted immediately, looking for all of those resources to make sure that those families stay connected to us and to the care that they need. So let's hear from our instructors and our families.
The thing is like they can consume all of that information, but that doesn't necessarily mean they have an opportunity to really ask the questions that they have, really dig deeper into the information that they're curious about. I think it's definitely difficult to, get what you really need off of reading a book or reading a website or watching a video. I think you really do need that person-to-person interaction to really get to the meat of people's anxieties and fears and really the things that they want to learn to build that confidence. So definitely, they're like, oh, we're just really grateful that had people say, we're really grateful for the fact that we have this platform and that it's not just, a video or a link or we do sign up for a class and then we're getting messages that, oh, that's been canceled and then the next one's been canceled. So like the fact that we know we can access this, we're building a community and we're getting the information we need. These families are definitely building their confidence. I had one couple say, they're like, oh, we were talking to our friends about our birth class and they were like, oh yeah, like we might do that, but it's a little old school to do like the classes. So they were like, no, I don't think you're thinking of the classes like the way they are now. I don't think you're thinking the same thing, right? They're like, we felt like it was so helpful and really helped us, with our process. And so, I just think it's great that our organization was able to kind of pivot very quickly into this new space.
It was a really nice class. There was a lot of information. Because I've had other kids, I knew some of the information and some of the information was new to me. So it was nice because I wanted to do a natural birth and I wanted someone that would like actually promote it, and say like, this is your options. You don't have to like go, in there and say like, I want to, I want this to be pain free. You can say like, I am signed up for this. I know my body can handle it. Right?
But having this weekly focus on this thing that we were all doing for partners and those carrying alike, there were times where I was like, well, I'm really glad that I heard that, and I'd write it down and it'd be something that I would remember later, like learning about the different type of, we had a cesarean because he was breech, and learning about the different types of cesareans and gentles. And then other times it would be like, hey, that was just kind of nice to connect with people. Like, I don't know how much I took away, but I felt good focusing on us.
Feel like it sounds odd. I actually feel like depending on the class, different folks click with other people, but so some of my classes, I feel like they might even be closer than some of the, some of the in-person classes. Cause I feel like the fact that they're in their homes, they're in their comfort zone, they actually tend to open up a little bit more. It's like sometimes you kind of get these opportunities that maybe you wouldn't otherwise, or even, sports team, backgrounds and things like, oh, what team do you support? Then they're chatting about that. So different ways. But I feel like some of these classes, they're very close knit, even though they're on Zoom.
Like we're all going through the same things, and we can relate to one another on a different level because COVID made things a lot more difficult for mothers. Some of us couldn't take our partners, and so it was like, oh, I can reach out to this person and see how they're handling it versus how like I might be handling it, It's really nice to know that like you're not alone, like even though it feels like you're alone when you're going through it, you're like, okay, I can't have someone there, I can't do this, I can't do that. You still had someone that you could like talk to and chat, or through email and say like, how are you dealing with it?
For me, I'm comfortable if I know more. So I tend to do that research on my own anyway. So I would hear something and then be like, oh, okay, remember that, and then really go look it up later. And that was most of it. For others, I would say it seemed to prompt a lot of like, oh, I didn't know about that. For me and my husband, we're kind of the last in a huge community of friends to have kids, and I love kids. And so I was already like, is he going to be tongue-tied? Is he going to be this? Like, oh yeah, I know all those things. Doesn't mean I understand how to deal with them. But so for me personally, it was tying it to other people going through what we were going through. And then even more so during the times we didn't spend too much time, but there was space created to be like,
being able to talk to other people that are going through the same thing. So someone reached out to me and they it made me feel good to be like, okay, I can help her and she feels like we're equal, not, from a professional standpoint and all the medical terms that sometimes we don't understand.
Is I had a class 2 weeks ago where one of the families had their baby early. So they had a baby 5 weeks early, and the mom messaged me and said, hey, we had our daughter early. And I was like, oh, congratulations. And they were like, well, we're still going to come though to class. And I was like, really? I was like, come, stay as long as you want, like come off whenever you want. And so just for the beginning, she talked about her birthing experience, holding her baby in the hospital room. These families are like, hanging on to every word. And so she talked about her whole experience, her support she had, everything, how breastfeeding was going, like all of those things. And they got to ask her these questions to her directly in her hospital room. I just sat back and let them have that time together. And I was like, how do you don't get that type of experience in person? I'm like, that is like, a silver lining you couldn't even kind of expect to have, is the fact that you could have an experience where they have a mom who literally gave birth 2 days ago that they know, and they're able to kind of share those experiences and ask the questions that they want to ask. And so, yes, the next class, they were like, okay, we need to make sure we're prepared, right? Because then they're all thinking we're going to be the next ones to have our baby, right? So, but it was really, really cool. I loved having that experience.
I just think that it's a great program. I think that I feel blessed that I was, able to get in when I did, because I missed the first week, but luckily I was able to get in. And I wish this was around, and I knew about it when I had my other kids, because it would have helped me make different decisions than what I made in the past. I was really happy that I got to use it, and I'm still using it. I'm taking other classes now. I'm signing up for whatever I can.
Over and over, we've seen at Parent Trust, there is a golden moment when people are just becoming parents, where parent education really has the power to change everything. And what's special about the Parent Trust team is they really listen to what parents what they need. And you could hear that from the stories that Chevy told. Our classes are designed to keep families strong and kids safe for a lifetime.
Together, we can bring more families online. It's a program I'm incredibly proud of, because it's a program that we created by listening to what our parents need, what are the people we support needed. They told us at the beginning of COVID, everything's going digital, we need to go digital. And Parent Trust has that capability to respond like that. And through that, we can bring all our services, our family helpline, our developmental screenings, and our stress management workshops to more families in Washington, and really continue to improve our community. So let's all step up and let's do our part.
You can donate on our webpage, parenttrust.org, via our Facebook page, or texting the word donate to 855-933-3771. I'd like to introduce our wonderful musical guest, longtime Parent Trust supporter and volunteer, Doug Wolf. Doug's going to play for us for a while you have the opportunity to donate, and then we're going to meet our fabulous winemakers.
Every day's not Valentine's, but you make it feel like most of the time. When I'm all alone with you, picking up the pieces of my life, sometimes there's ones I just can't find, but they found a home with you. Oh, I'm not afraid to be alone, but being alone is better with you. Life is better with you. Whoa, life is better with you. Whoa, life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Some days are better than other days. These days life is better with you. Some days are better than other days. These days life is better with you. Tell me what you want, I'll give you all that I can, with my heart in my hand, saying please baby please, 'cause nobody does those things you do better than you. Thoughts still swimming around my head with all the words we've ever said. My favorites remain, I love you. Oh, I'm not afraid to be alone, but being alone it's better with you. Life is better with you. Some days are better than other days. These days life is better with you. Some days are better than other days. These days life is better with you. And when I think about the things that we've been through, I know just one thing is true. Life is better with you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Life is better with you. Whoa, life is better with you. Whoa, life is better with you. Life is better with you. Thank you very much for supporting Parent Trust. They're building stronger families, stronger communities, and making a better world, all with your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug, and thanks to all of you for your support. Every donation, every dollar matters. And if you're one of those that can't separate yourself from your personal device, you can also donate by texting the word donate to 855-933-3771. And if you forget at any time, it's all there on that banner there to the other side.
Fantastic. Well, now it's time to meet our winemakers. They will each be featuring 2 wines for us today. And I want to remind you that you can buy all of their wines, not just the ones featured today, using our special wine buying code, the word parents. Each purchase benefits Parent Trust and supports the 3 generous local businesses, these wineries that have been partners of ours for years. And having seen what they're offering, there's a lot of really, really good offerings that'll be fantastic to be out on the porch and having a nice sip at the end of the day, or maybe inside with a lovely dinner.
Well, we're all hoping we'll be able to taste wines from 3 of Cups, Finn Hill, and Callan Cellars in person at our Taste of Spring event next year. But in the meantime, we're so grateful for their support this year when we need it most, and I hope you appreciate all of this extra intel that they give us that I know personally I have missed out on at Taste of Spring events in the past, because now we have their undivided attention. So without further ado, here's a video from our wine partners.
My name is Lynn Marshall, and I am the Development Coordinator at Parent Trust, and I am here today to introduce you to our 3 fabulous winemakers, Callan Cellars, Finn Hill, and 3 of Cups. And I want to start by saying how lucky we are at Parent Trust that they continue to support us through good times and bad, and I can't wait to learn more about their wines today.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lynn.
So tell me about the wines you brought for us today.
So I brought 2 wines that I'm showcasing for the Parent Trust spring event. It's our 2017 Syrah from Walla Walla, Les Collines Vineyard. It has quite a few awards that we got pretty lucky at, and including Best Syrah in Texas. So we're pretty proud of our Washington wines making it through Texas. And then I also have a 2020 Sauvignon Blanc from Royal Slope. It is from Stillwater Creek Vineyard. It's a vineyard that we've been harvesting from for quite a long time. And it's got a really peachy notes on it. It's a beautiful summer wine. Stock up on it while you can, because I'm sure it'll go fast when it starts heating up around here. So those are our 2 that we have today, and if you want a blueberry bomb, it's the Syrah, and if you want peach, it's the Sauv Blanc.
That's fascinating. Can you recommend any particular food pairings with either one?
Yeah, so I would say with the Syrah, any beef skewers or some short ribs or something like that. If you're, it's kind of a heavier wine, so you want it to break up some of the fat. And then with the Lavu, like any smoked salmon, deviled eggs, oysters. Right now, Hama Hama Oysters is pouring that down, and they're pairing it with oysters and clams and any kind of seafood will go great with the Sauv Blanc. So and even Thai food. Yeah, so it's a fun wine.
What else would you like people to know either about Three of Cups or about these two particular wines? I'm interested in where the grapes were grown, so I was going to ask you with each one if you could talk you touched on that a little bit, but
right.
A little more.
So the Syrah is way out in Walla Walla, so it's a long drive. It's about a 5.5 hour drive.
Gotcha.
We chose Les Collines vineyard because it was a family-run vineyard at the time. The McKibben family owned it when we first started contracting with them. They have since sold the vineyard. However, they do have a wonderful manager in there now, and so we like what they're doing with all the grapes. We go out and inspect the grapes. It's right next to the Oregon border. It's a beautiful piece of property, and we can't say enough about the minerality in the soil there and how it really manifests itself in the wine. And then our Sauv Blanc is in Royal Slopes, so Royal City, kind of in the middle of the state. It's not as far of a drive for us. When we do manufacture our fruit, we drive out that morning, we come back that night, and we process it right away. And so we do try to do that every time. It's very important to us that we don't let the grapes sit around. We need to get them crushed and into their vats. So, we like the Sauv Blanc up on Royal Slope. We just feel like that the altitude and the terrain up there is just conducive to the Sauv Blanc. We've got some other grapes up there that are really nice too, some Semillon. But we really, really like the Sauv Blanc, and we want more and more of it because we seem to go through it. So I know I like it. So
when you have one of those long production days with it, how many hours does that end up being?
It could end, well, for Mike, because he's my business partner, so I share the winery with my business partner. He'll drive out there. He might leave at 2 in the morning when he goes and picks up in Walla Walla. And then it might be, an 8 o'clock pickup, 9 o'clock pickup. He drives back that day. I come back after work, so I work like a 9 to 5 job. I'll come in after work. I take care of the, washing, rinsing, getting everything ready. So when he rolls up, we're just unloading fruit and getting it into the crusher. So it does become a long day. We try to avoid the 3 in the morning things where we just have to keep going. It just depends on the volume of fruit that we bring in.
Right.
So if it's not too much, then it's probably more like midnight. So it's a long haul for one of those days. Yeah, for sure.
Well worth it for the result.
It is well worth it. We just drudge through it, but we love it. Yeah.
I know that you have been doing this for Parent Trust for quite a few years now, but for anyone in our audience who doesn't know, could you tell us just a little bit about Three of Cups and how long you've been making wine?
Yeah. So Three of Cups was started in 2013. We actually partnered with Parent Trust in 2016, about when we started selling wine. So I had met one of the board members, Steve Abramowitz. I worked out with him at the Magnuson Athletic Club, and he was very passionate about Parent Trust and their mission. I don't have any children of my own. However, I really appreciate all the programs that you do. I like all the partnerships that you have, and so we thought, pairing wine with your charity would be a nice fit. Three of Cups there's 2 of us, myself and Mike, and then we do everything. So employee 1, employee 2. We do have some help, like in the weekends in our tasting room, but for the most part, it's just us. Three of Cups, the meaning is a tarot card. It means friends coming together to celebrate, and we feel like that was fitting for our winery. And each of the wines is the French version of a tarot card. So when I was in college, I had a French teacher named Madame Booth. And when we went to name all the tarot cards, I didn't want to use the English versions because of trademark issues. So we went ahead with the French versions of the tarots. And there's actually, in Spain, there's a cups game called the Cups game. And it's a very similar kind of card game that they have. And so, like, Spanish people often think it's the cups game versus the tarot cards. So it's kind of interesting to see everyone's interpretation of what Three of Cups is. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I think the other thing that I want to be sure that everyone knows is that including the 2 featured wines, all of the wines that Three of Cups offered are available with the discount code on their website, and that's going to continue until May 15th. So go and check out all of their wines.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. Thank you so much for being here, Rob. Tell me about the fabulous wines you brought from Finn Hill today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here, and a pleasure to be here in support of Parent Trust. We have 2 wines that we're featuring for the Parent Trust Taste of Spring event. One of them is a white wine. It's a Pinot Gris. We call it Le Fantôme Blanc, the White Ghost. And it's 100% Pinot Gris, very fresh and crisp, and something I think you'll enjoy for the summer when it gets a little bit warmer. The other wine is a Malbec from Rosebud Vineyards in Mattawa, Washington. Again, 100% single varietal wine. And it's a very fruit-forward, full-bodied wine that you'll really enjoy with, I think, lean red meats, grilled steaks, for vegetarian fare, grilled portobello mushrooms and roasted red peppers is a good pairing. And it's think about it as a barbecue wine. I think would be a good way to go.
Gotcha. I was also fascinated to see in your tasting notes with the Blanc that you listed as a potential pairing with sushi, which is really an interesting one to me.
Yeah, like a lot of white wines, Pinot Gris pairs really well with seafood in general. Some of our favorites are grilled halibut or scallops or shrimp, but also it goes well with salads, sushi, and it's very versatile.
Makes me feel like summer's really going to come.
Well, we have hope.
Yeah, absolutely we do. And one more question about that wine, but just from when we were speaking earlier and you were telling me about the color, and I wanted to ask you to elaborate on that for everyone who's watching today.
Well, you won't be able to tell it from the video, but and sometimes you can't even tell it just by looking at the bottle, but if you put this bottle of white wine next to another bottle of white wine, you'll see that this color is a little bit different. It's actually a very faint rose gold in color, and that's because the Pinot Gris grape is really not a white grape, even though we use it to make a white wine. It's actually a light red or almost a pink color. And some of that color from the skin comes through when we press the juice to make the wine. So it gives it this really subtle, I think, very beautiful color.
Gotcha. Well, let me ask you too about the vineyards where both of the grapes and both of these wines originate.
Sure. The Pinot Gris comes from actually a very well-known vineyard called Wallula Vineyard. It's right on the Columbia River. It's also known as the Steps. It's a terraced vineyard with a beautiful view over the Columbia. And the Malbec comes from Rosebud Vineyards in Mattawa. It's owned by the Dobson family. They bought the land about 50 years ago with the intention of farming, and then probably about 30 years ago started planting grapes, and they have 240 or 250 acres of wine grapes. And this is a beautiful wine. It's a deep purple magenta color. It's very dark and inky. I think if you had a fountain pen and a bottle of this wine, you could write a novel with it, because it's very dark and inky. But we notice when we taste this, we get the classic Malbec fruit-forward flavors of blackberry, boysenberry, blueberry, and those really come through. And it's very full-bodied and rich wine.
sounds wonderful. I'm looking forward to trying that one.
Mhm.
It's wonderful. Well, let me also ask you just a little bit about Finn Hill in general, and how you got started in all of this, how long you've been making wine. I think
Sure.
for some of the people who come to our events, I think this is probably old news, because again, all of these winemakers have been with us for a while, but just for a little bit of background.
Sure. Yeah, Finn Hill, probably like a lot of wineries, started in my garage, and we made wine for a few years. We actually licensed and bonded my 2-car garage in Kirkland. So we were there for, from 2008 was our first vintage, and through 2011, because we realized that the capacity of our garage was about 6 tons. So we couldn't really make much more wine than that amount of grapes. 6 tons sounds like a lot, but compared to most of the commercial wineries around, it's a tiny, tiny amount. So we came out here to the warehouse district in Woodinville in 2011. We've been here for 10 years and have been increasing our production slowly over time. And we've just moved to a new location in the south end of Woodinville at the Winemakers Reserve, or also known as Woodinville Custom Wines, which is a huge, beautiful new facility that we're sharing with other small wineries in order to make wines of very high quality.
Gotcha. Well, I also have to ask you about the Finn Hill. Yep.
Yeah, I live on Finn Hill, and Finn Hill's background in Kirkland is that it was first settled by a couple of immigrants from Helsinki, Finland, back right around the turn of the 1900s, 1910, I think. And it was just after they had cut the forest, and they had land that they were trying to sell. And so these intrepid settlers moved there. And probably by 50 years after that, there were about 45 or 50 Finnish families that lived on the hill. And in Finnish folk culture, that's where the gnome comes from. Farmers had a belief that there was a gnome that was there to protect their property and protect their animals, and would help them and be helpful to them in their farming efforts, as long as they treated the land and treated the animals well. But if they didn't treat them well, or if they mistreated their animals, then the gnome would start playing tricks on them. So you had to be careful about that.
That's great. That's fascinating. Well, and again, I would really encourage you all to visit Finn Hill's website and look at all of the wines that they're offering, because until May 15th, the Parent Trust Code will continue to work, and you'll continue to get the amazing discount on everything on the website.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much, Rob, for highlighting these for us today.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it. Thank you. And now we're here with Lisa Callan, and thank you so much for hosting us today. This is Lisa's beautiful winery that we're doing our filming for this event in today. And I wanted to ask you pretty much the same thing I've been asking your colleagues. Yeah, so tell us about these fabulous wines you're highlighting for our event.
Well, the wines that we are featuring are the Grenache Blanc, 100% Grenache Blanc from Boucher Vineyards, and actually 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from Elephant Mountain. Elephant Mountain is a vineyard right outside of Yakima in a very small town called Wapato, and I think they call it Elephant Mountain because of the wrinkles and the folds in the mountain.
Gotcha.
Somebody thought it looked like an elephant. It's pretty similar elevation to Red Mountain, so these Bordeaux varietals ripen really well. We get Merlot, Cab Franc, Sangiovese, all from Elephant Mountain, and then some of the other Rhone varietals all come from Boucher Vineyards.
Gotcha. And is it unique, or unique isn't the right word, but is it unusual for to have them be 100% of the same?
I'm not sure if it's unique. When we go through blending trials, we pull samples from all of the barrels and taste through everything. And then depending on, if one's a little lean or whatever, we'll, experiment with blending. But we just didn't think that this cab needed anything.
Oh, wow.
We tasted it and we're happy with it. And we actually did try to blend a few things with it, and we were just like, no. like it the way it is.
Oh, that
So if
sounds
I
great.
can go 100%, I would like to, only because I think that showcases the vineyard.
Right.
And the Grenache Blanc, I've always done 100% Grenache Blanc. I've never blended it with anything. I like it the way it is. It's a nice, crisp, acidic, clean, fresh white wine. It's got some great melon kind of aromas and flavors, maybe a little bit of pineapple, a little honeydew melon, but it's got this great crisp finish. So if you like crisp white wines, this is probably the wine that I drink almost every day. So.
And what kind of food pairings do you recommend with it?
The Grenache Blanc, everybody has said about their whites, but I don't disagree. I mean, I think with the crisp acidic whites, you need seafood, spicy food. We've done pastas, fish. I mean, it's pretty versatile wine, but I think it can handle spice and, oysters, crab legs. I think we drank it at Christmas with some king crab legs. It was awesome.
Gotcha. And what about a pairing with cab?
The cab is a pretty medium-bodied. We've been eating a lot of pork and red meats, but I think it stands up to pastas with red sauce or I don't know. I mean, I love it with everything that we've had it with, so I can't really. I'm not the foodie. I'm the wine person. I'm not the one who knows exactly, but
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, what else? What? Let me ask you then, in general, about your winery. How long have you been making wine?
So I went back to school in 2010 and did the Washington State University's enology program, extension program, and worked for a few other wineries after. Our first licensed vintage was 2015. We've been in this space almost exactly 4 years, which is exciting. And it's just been fast and a lot in a short period of time, and I'm just really, really loving what I'm doing.
Oh, that's fabulous. And I know you've gone through, so you're in the same space, but you've gone through some significant expansion in your time.
We've grown. We've had a roommate, and that winery grew. Our winery grew, so it was time for both of us to get more space. And the space is full. I don't know how we were both in here before, but yeah, it's nice to have our own space and still have the winery that we shared with before nearby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we were pretty good roommates.
When I first came to Parent Trust, one of my favorite things among the three of you was learning about all this activity going on Artesian Hill, and it's fascinating exactly how much exciting creativity there's going on.
It's a crazy industry up here where you really want your neighbors to be successful, and we all help each other. And I could ask anybody for anything almost at any time, and if it's available, I get the help. So it's a really great community in that way, in that regard, where we're all wanting to help and support each other be successful. So, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Lisa, for being a part of this, for hosting.
Thanks for having me.
Hosting us
and
today.
Again, the reason why I support the Parent Trust and have for all these years is I really wish this Parent Trust organization was around when my mom was raising kids. I might have had a different. She might have had a different experience raising children, and who knows what would have happened. But if more resources were available, 100 years ago, it would have been awesome. So I love anything that helps support kids and parents and families. So we get asked, and the other wineries do too. We get asked by a lot of organizations, and I feel like this is one of the few that we've really stuck with and love to support. So get your wines.
We can't tell you how much we appreciate your support, and I second what Lisa said. Let's show some love back to the wineries. So thank you all very much.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I can't wait to try the peachy Sauvignon Blanc from Three of Cups, the crisp Pinot Gris from Findhill, and the Grenache Blanc from Callan Cellars. I really wish it came with the crab legs. It sounds really great. And I'm sensing a theme here. It sounds like I'm thirsty and I'm ready for summer. So hurry up, weather, and stay consistent here. The sunny day was great. Well, just like Lisa said, imagine what the world would be like if all our mothers and all our fathers, if every parent had support and resources. You've learned about our Tech Access program, but it's important to remember that Parent Trust works to keep families strong in so many different ways.
Calls to our family helpline have skyrocketed during the pandemic, and our parent coaches have never stopped answering those phones. Since the pandemic began, we've been helping so many families on the verge of breaking apart. Families facing everything from human trafficking to panicked parents trying to access food and basic services to trying to understand how they can get digital in a time where everything is moving there so aggressively during these COVID years.
And parents often say we are the only ones answering our phone. Our Families in Recovery program never stopped operating, even when treatment centers shut their doors last spring. Our group facilitators turned on a dime and got their families online so they could continue to support each other through all the challenges the pandemic threw at them. Your support means that our recovering parents always have somewhere to turn for the support they need.
All of our programs act to prevent child abuse and neglect. I think that is the most impressive and one of the greatest things that we do here is we focus on the prevention piece. We know now that prevention not only spares kids and families the untold suffering, but it has a huge economic and social impact in the local and broader communities of where it acts.
That's really what drew me to Parent Trust personally. And research has found that a number of adverse childhood experiences which occur every year in the United States result in more than $100 billion in lifetime health care, criminal justice, child welfare, special education, and lost productivity costs. That's a staggering number, and your support can reduce these costs and make a better world for children and families today, and especially here in your own backyard. We appreciate your support, and we think it's important that you know why our winemakers are also Parent Trust supporters.
I've been supporting Parent Trust for the last few years because it's a cause that I can really believe in. I think Lisa mentioned that we get numerous requests as a winery from all sorts of charitable organizations, and they're all worthy in their own right. But we have to choose. We can't support everyone. And for me, for the last 10 years, we've been supporting causes that are related to child welfare and child health. And I didn't discover Parent Trust until, 4 years ago, I think. And it really fits within my context of what I want to project in terms of an image for our society and where we want to go. It's a way of, I think of it as a lot of preventive health measures. I work in the healthcare field myself, and I really see the value of providing programs and services and support for parents and for children that prevent them from getting into trouble or problems or illness or whatever the problem happens to be. And I think Parent Trust has been right in the middle of that. So I'm very grateful that we have an organization like Parent Trust and that we're able to support them through our winery and through these events.
100% agree with
Yes.
everything that you just said. Yes, absolutely.
For sure. So, as I said before, Three of Cups has been supporting Parent Trust since 2016. Mike has 2 sons. I don't have any children, but I have a lot of stepchildren, and I have a godchild. And I think any way we can educate our younger population, new parents, the programs that Parent Trust offers are incredible. The New Fathers program, anywhere from hotlines. It's an incredible resource that we need to give back as a society and make sure that, any children, any child does not get harmed. And so that's a big value for me, especially, is I feel like we have to educate our society. And I think Parent Trust offers the resources. I haven't seen very many organizations that do the things that they do. So I'm very appreciative for everything that they do on a daily basis, because it can't be easy. And even though I don't have children of my own, I feel like I have children by proxy. So I feel like that it's really important to support them in any way we can. I don't know if it was mentioned before, but we are donating proceeds to Parent Trust for the wine sales. So it's super important that you guys buy wines so that you can support more of their programs going forward.
So Lisa has a very tough act to follow, and I agree 100% with everything that they spoke about. And cheers.
Cheers.
To a great organization. And yummy wines.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rob, Lisa, and Lisa. We're so glad that you're part of the Parent Trust family. We get to have these experiences with you. And selfishly, I'm looking forward to my wine order shipping so I can try some of these delicious wines we got to see today.
And thanks again to everyone here today for supporting Parent Trust through your donations and through buying wine from Three of Cups, Callan Cellars, and Finn Hill Winery. As you know, I'm very thirsty for it, so I'm ready. I hope you are too.
So we're going to close out today by reminding you that you can help us reach our goal by donating via our website, which is parenttrust.org, via our Facebook page and using the donate button there, or texting the word donate to 855-933-3771.
And you can also use our special wine code, PARENTS, to buy any of the wines on the websites of our partners, Three of Cups, Finn Hill, and Callan Cellars until May 15th. You'll get a discount on the wine, and every purchase helps us keep kids safe and families strong.
Also, thank you. On behalf of the board, the staff, and the families of Parent Trust, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, Columbia Bank, K2 Vision, True Blue Strategies, and the Ruckstuhle Lewandowski Wright family. Our winery partners, Three of Cups, Callan Cellars, and the Finn Hill Winery. To all of our donors, to everyone here watching and attending, to everybody that gives your time, energy, and sweat to Parent Trust, whether it's donating, whether it's volunteering, whether it's being an active member of our community, an active member of your community. We just want to say thank you so much. And as we close out here, and you have one little last moment to donate, we're going to close out with an original song from the incredible Doug Wolf. Doug wrote this song. Thank you is my prayer just for our event, so we're very honored to be able to show it here. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night, and let's have Doug play us out.
Thank you is my prayer. Thank you is my prayer. There's magic in them prayers. Thank you for my healthy body. Thank you for my healthy mind. Thank you for all my healthy relationships that give me reason to rhyme. My prayer. Thank you is my prayer. There's magic in them prayers. Thank you for all the money that flows in through our lives, supports our dreams and our family's dreams and our community's dreams for a world that goes beyond our wildest dreams. Thank you is my prayer. Thank you is my prayer. There's magic in them prayers. Thank you for my healthy body. Thank you for my healthy mind. Thank you for all my healthy relationships. They give me reason to rhyme. Thank you, 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 thank you is my prayer. Thank you is my prayer. Thank you is my prayer. And I want to say thank you to everyone who is supporting Parent Trust. Parent Trust is making stronger families, they're making stronger communities, and they are making the world a better place for everyone. Thank you.